Yo, what's good, YouTube? Back at it with another banger video, and today we are actually live right now on Twitch. It's RiverZ underscore on Twitch. Go follow, make sure. We're live almost every single day, and it's just vibes, you know? We play everything. But let's get straight into the video. We are reacting to Every Generation Explained in 13 Minutes by Everything Professor. Let's get it, let's go.
Generation.
Lost Generation.
1883 to 1900. Die for nothing, and they knew it was for nothing. These were the young men
Dang, bro.
War One. They charged through trenches, breathed mustard gas, watched friends dissolve into mud, and for what? Some archduke got shot. Empires wanted more land.
Yo, I just learned about this, bro. I just learned about this in history class. Worst history class of all time because my teacher gives me homework every single day.
Old men in capitals drew lines on maps while young men became statistics. Before
Yep.
the war, they believed in progress, in civilization, in the idea that things were getting better, that institutions meant something, that sacrifice had purpose. The war killed all of that. Not just the soldiers, the belief itself. The survivors came home to find they couldn't explain what they'd seen, couldn't reconnect with people who still believed the old stories. Writers like Hemingway and Fitzgerald tried to capture it. The disillusionment, the sense that meaning itself had been a lie. They called themselves lost because that's what they were, not physically, spiritually. The world had made promises, then broke them in the most violent way possible. Their core struggle was meaninglessness. How do you build a life when you've seen proof that nothing actually matters? Some drank themselves to death, some made art, just carried the emptiness quietly. The greatest generation.
If you're gonna name who created the generation names, bro, like if you're naming your generation the greatest generation, prove it to me. Prove it.
1901 to 1927. The greatest generation didn't have time for existential crisis. They were too busy trying not to die. Their childhood was the Great
Oh,
Depression. Not money was tight depression, actual starvation, families torn apart, kids watching their parents break down because there was no food, no work, no hope. They learned early that survival isn't guaranteed, that everything can disappear overnight. Then, just as things started recovering, World War II. Except
yeah,
this
because I still don't know how this is the greatest generation. I'm not even gonna lie.
time, the stakes were even clearer. Fascism spreading across Europe. Pearl Harbor in
Uh,
flames. This wasn't some abstract dispute
okay.
over borders. This was obvious evil that needed stopping. So they went. 18-year-olds storming beaches, women running
Uh-huh.
factories, everyone sacrificing because the alternative was unthinkable. And here's what defined them. They didn't complain, couldn't afford to. When your choices are fight or lose everything, you fight. When your choices are work or starve, you work. Therapy wasn't an option. Processing emotions wasn't an option. You just endured. The silent generation. 1928
The Silent Generation.
to 1945. The silent generation was raised by traumatized survivors and told to shut up.
Ah.
Their parents had lived through
Okay.
the Depression and the war.
Oh.
Their parents had learned that emotions were dangerous, that vulnerability got you killed, that the only way forward was to conform, work hard, and never make waves. So that's what they taught their children. Keep your head down. Don't question authority. Don't express feelings. Don't be different. Just fit in, follow the rules, and maybe you'll be safe. This generation aged during McCarthyism, when having the wrong opinions could destroy your career. When conformity wasn't just encouraged, but enforced. Speaking up meant risk. Staying silent meant survival. So they stayed silent. They took the corporate jobs. They moved to the suburbs. They buried whatever didn't fit the mold. Men couldn't be
Mm.
emotional. Women couldn't be ambitious. Everyone played their role. Their struggle was repression. Not just personal repression, but systemic. An entire generation taught that authenticity was dangerous, that the self needed hiding. Many never recovered. Some are still alive today, still silent, still waiting for permission that never came. Now,
That's sad, bro.
baby boomers, 1946 to 1964. Baby boomers were supposed to change the world. They believed it. They almost did it. Then they watched it all fall apart. They grew up in post-war prosperity, optimism everywhere. Their parents had won the war, built the economy, created
Mm.
safety.
Yeah.
Now it was their turn to fix what remained broken. Civil rights, women's liberation, ending war. They genuinely believed they'd be the generation that finally got it right. And for a moment, it seemed possible. The 60s were electric. Music that meant something. Protests that moved nations. a sense that young people could actually reshape society. Then the assassination started.
Oh,
JFK, Malcolm X, MLK, Bobby
yep.
Kennedy. One by one, the leaders who represented hope were murdered. Vietnam dragged
I
on,
didn't know it was
chewing
that
up
many.
friends and brothers for a war nobody could justify.
That's sad.
The dream didn't just die, it was killed, publicly, repeatedly. Their struggle was shattered idealism. Some kept fighting, many gave up and chased money instead. The generation that wanted revolution became the generation that perfected corporate capitalism. Not because they didn't care, because caring had cost too much. Generation X. Generation X raised themselves while nobody was watching. Their parents were busy. Divorce rates exploded in the 70s and 80s.
Mm,
Suddenly, half of them came from broken homes. The other half had two parents working because one income didn't cut it anymore. Either
okay.
way, kids came home to empty houses. They're called latchkey kids for a reason. They literally had keys around
Latchkey.
their necks because nobody was home to let them in. They made their own dinners,
Okay.
did homework alone,
Yeah.
figured things out without guidance because guidance wasn't available. Boomers dominated every conversation. Boomers were the main characters of society. Gen X existed in the margins, watching their parents' generation take up all the oxygen while they just tried to survive adolescence unsupervised. This created something specific: independence, a dark sense of humor
Yep.
about everything,
Okay.
because sincerity had already failed their parents' generation. They didn't expect institutions to help them, didn't expect anyone to show up. They learned early that you handle your own problems. Their struggle was
At a
neglect,
young age too,
not dramatic
probably.
abuse, just absence, being forgotten in the chaos of a changing society. Millennials, 1981 to 1996.
Millennials.
Millennials did everything they were told. That was the trap. Study hard, get good grades, go to college, even if it means debt, because
Yep.
degrees guarantee good jobs.
No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't.
Work hard, hustle, grind, put in the hours. Success will follow. They followed the script perfectly, and the script was a lie.
Yep.
They graduated into the 2008 financial crisis. The jobs weren't there. The ones that existed paid poverty wages. Meanwhile, student debt ballooned. Housing prices exploded. The milestones previous generations took for granted.
Like,
Family
yeah.
kept sliding further away. And here's what made it worse. They were blamed for their own situation, called lazy by the generations who bought houses at 25 on a single income.
Yeah, they bought houses for a stick and a grape and 5 cents with a booger in their pocket, bro. Like, and they're like, oh, you need to buy a house.
Gotten those degrees by the same people who said degrees were mandatory, mocked for not having what was literally impossible to have. Their struggle was betrayal, not just economic betrayal, psychological. They internalized the rules, believed the promises, did the work, and got nothing. That specific combination creates a unique kind of damage. Not just disappointment, but a fundamental questioning of whether any rules actually mean anything. If doing everything right still leads to failure, what's the point of trying? Generation Z,
Hey,
1997
that's this guy's generation, you feel me?
to 2012. Generation Z has infinite options and can't choose any of them.
Hey, that's my option right there. That's my option right there. If it's not that, it's this right here. Which, it's not what we want, but I ain't going to college because I ain't going into all that debt. But if I do get this, if I do this, because this doesn't work out, which it will, I know it will, make sure to subscribe and like the button for more content just like this. But yeah, if that doesn't work, which I know it will, hopefully, then this is the next option, and I'm going to start a business with my cousin, so yeah.
They're the first generation raised entirely online. Smartphones before they could read, social media as native language, the entire world accessible from their palms at all times. Sounds like an advantage. It's actually a psychological experiment with no control group. Their brains develop differently, literally. The constant
You think?
stimulation, the
Probably,
endless
yeah.
scrolling, the dopamine hits every few seconds. Their attention spans
Yeah.
are shaped by algorithms designed to be addictive. Focusing on one thing feels
Oh.
almost painful when everything else is one tap away. In comparison, Previous generations compared themselves to their neighborhood, maybe their school. Gen Z compares themselves to the entire world. Every success story is visible. Every achievement is public. The highlight reels of millions of people, all suggesting that everyone else has figured it out except you. Their struggle is overstimulation, too much information, too many paths, too many voices saying different things. Decision paralysis is epidemic because every choice means rejecting infinite alternatives. They've never known a world without the noise, so they don't even know what quiet feels like. Some are discovering it. Most are just trying to survive the algorithm. Generation Alpha, 2013 to 2025. Generation Alpha is learning to be human from
Generation... Wait.
Generation Alpha, 2000. Generation Alpha. Some are discovering it. Most are just trying
Generation
to survive the
Alpha.
Generation Alpha, 2013 to 2025. Generation Alpha is learning to be human from screens, and the screens aren't good teachers. These are kids who had tablets before they could walk, whose earliest memories include YouTube algorithms serving them
Tune sahur, bro.
Whose social development happened partly or entirely through devices rather than faces. The pandemic accelerated everything. School went online, playdates went online. The already blurry line between digital and physical disappeared entirely for years. And now we're seeing the results. Social skills are atrophying, not slightly, measurably. Teachers report kids who can't make eye contact, can't handle unstructured play, can't navigate basic conflicts because they've never practiced. The muscle you build by being around other humans, the one that teaches you to read faces and handle awkwardness and exist in groups, it needs exercise. They're not getting it. Their struggle is disconnection. Not the kind previous generations felt, the existential loneliness of modern life. Literal disconnection. It's not their fault. They were handed devices by adults who didn't understand the consequences, but they'll carry the effects. Nobody knows yet how to fix what's being lost. The new age generation, 6 and beyond. The coming generation might face the strangest struggle of all. Figuring out what humans is advancing faster than anyone predicted. Tasks that seemed permanently human, writing, coding, creating art, making decisions, are being automated. Not replaced badly, replaced well. Sometimes better than humans can do them. Every previous generation had a clear answer to, what should I do with my life? Work, contribute, build something. But what happens when machines handle most of the building? When your labor isn't needed? When anything you can do, an AI does faster and cheaper? Some will find meaning in what machines can't replicate. Human connection, physical presence, the simple fact of being human in spaces with other humans. Others will struggle with purposelessness, unlike anything we've seen. Previous struggles were about survival, trauma, economics. This one is philosophical. If you're not needed, do you matter? If effort isn't required,
I never thought that
mean anything? If everything can be generated, is anything authentic? Their struggle is irrelevance. Not being poor or oppressed, being unnecessary. It might be the hardest struggle of all, because there's no obvious enemy to fight, no problem to solve, just a question that might not have an answer. We're about to find out how humans handle a world that doesn't require them.
Yo, W video, everything professor. He makes fire videos, and we're gonna put a like on that video. Yo, Roger, how do you like that video? I'm gonna just take that as a, it was good.